Welcome to episode 11 of AI.COOKING, a podcast about artificial intelligence.
Howdy meatbags. Welcome to AI.COOKING, episode 11. A podcast about artificial intelligence. I am Gwoof the Cock from the Kingdom of Kent, who brings you news about artificial intelligence from September 2021 and AI Knowledge Corner. Alright, that's enough now. Let's fade it out. You'll hear more of that at the end. Thank you. Well, I've had a good couple of weeks, I cannot lie. Although I still can't work out how to get my ultralight Motu MK4 Mark of the Unicorn box here to output in stereo rather than mono. Don't know how to do that. A little help would be appreciated. If you wanted to reach us, you can find us at CSB on No Agenda Social. I'm Gwoof, GWFF, on No Agenda Social on the Fediverse. So you have to partake in that as penance for getting in touch. So, let's talk news. Google's new AI photo upscaling tech is jaw-dropping. Photo enhancing in movies and TV shows is often ridiculed for being unbelievable. But research in real photo enhancing is actually creeping more and more into the realm of science fiction. Just take a look at Google's latest AI photo upscaling tech. In a post titled High Fidelity Image Generation Using Diffusion Models, published on the Google AI blog, Google researchers in the company's Brain team share about new breakthroughs they've made in image super resolution. In image super resolution, a machine learning model is trained to turn a low-res photo into a detailed high-res photo. And potential applications of this range from restoring old family photos to improving medical imaging. In other news, Facebook AI has developed a new approach called neural databases, which enables machines to search unstructured data, which might range from vast collections of text to recordings of songs. Similar to how traditional systems can't search a typical structured database, with neural databases, it might one day be possible to run a complex query such as, what is the third longest entry about a Russian-born novelist, directly on Wikipedia, for example. More information, PDF with article about neural databases and source code can be found at github.com/Facebook research/neuraldb. In other news, Boston Dynamics, the robotics company famous because of their robotics dogs that are actually on sale, is developing a humanoid robot called Atlas. That is not yet on sale, but this robot is gaining new skills. What does it take for a robot to run, flip, vault, and leap like an athlete? Creating these high-energy demonstrations is a fun challenge, but Boston Dynamics' technical goals go beyond just creating a flashy performance. On the Atlas project, researchers from Boston Dynamics use parkour as an experiment theme to study problems related to rapid behavior creation, dynamic locomotion, and connections between perception and control that allow the robot to adapt, quite literally, on the fly. In other news, Silicon Valley has a new pitch to persuade small companies to automate. Rent-a-robots. Better technology and the need to pay higher wages to humans have produced a surge in sales of robots to big companies all across America. But few of these automatons are making it into smaller factories, which are wary of big upfront costs and lacking robot engineering talent. So venture capitalists are backing a new financial model: lease robots. Install and maintain them, charge factories by the hour or month, cut the risk and initial costs. More information about Rent a Robot service can be found at rapidrobotics.com. In other news, the former co-head of Google's ethical AI research group, Margaret Mitchell, who was fired in February after a controversy over a critical paper she co-authored, will join artificial intelligence startup Hugging Face to create tools that help companies make sure their algorithms are fair. Hugging Face maintains a repository where people can share and collaborate on AI models, an open source platform that's used by more than 5,000 organizations, including Alphabet Incorporated's Google, Facebook Incorporated, and Microsoft Corporation. Mitchell plans to start in October 2021 and will begin by working on a set of tools to ensure the datasets used to train AI algorithms aren't biased. Incomplete data used to teach a model how to make predictions or determinations typically leads to AI software that performs poorly with whichever groups are left out of the original data, be it women, members of minority groups, or older people. In other news, AI computers can't patent their own inventions yet, a US judge rules. What boils down to: 1. The US Patent Act says an inventor must be an individual. 2. Previous legal decisions have clarified that individuals have to be people, not, say, companies. 3. It's also pretty clear from context that the Patent Act was referring to people. 4. AI systems are not people. U.S. District Judge Leonie Brinkema had this to say:
There may come a time when artificial intelligence reaches a level of sophistication such that it may satisfy accepted means of inventorship, but that time has not yet arrived, and if it does, it will be up to Congress to decide how, if at all, it wants to expand the scope of patent law.
In other news, amount of rumors about self-driving car from Apple Super Corporation is increasing. Could $125 million land deal launch more Apple car testing in Arizona? A Delaware-based entity managed by Greenberg Traurig paid $125 million for the former Chrysler Proving Grounds in Whitman in the West Valley, according to the real estate tracking website Visda. The most interesting aspect of the blockbuster deal for the 5,458-acre property is that some reports say Apple is behind the entity, which means the site is likely to become the primary testing grounds for the Apple Car, Apple's autonomous vehicle that has been in development for several years. Note, solving the problem of self-driving is currently the biggest challenge for artificial intelligence, and all car companies are working on it. Apple either might offer their own car or maybe a solution for existing car companies. It's all in the rumor phase yet. Apple is working to launch a self-driving car and plans to release a vehicle in 3 to 6 years, Reuters has said. Apple is aiming for 2024, but Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo believes a car won't launch until 2025 to 2027 at the earliest. In other news, Tesla ordered to share autopilot data with the U.S. Traffic Safety Agency. The U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has ordered Tesla to hand over detailed autopilot data by October 22nd, or else face fines of up to $115 million, according to the New York Times. Back in August, NHTSA announced that it's investigating incidents wherein Tesla vehicles with autopilot activated crashed into parked first responder vehicles with flashing lights. The agency originally cited 11 such crashes, which resulted in 17 injuries and 1 death since 2018. But a 12th incident occurred just this Saturday. In other news, an important achievement of Google's DeepMind subsidiary, DeepMind's Collect and Infer, a fresh look at data-efficient reinforcement learning. In recent years, there has been growing interest in reinforcement learning, or RL, algorithms that can learn entirely from fixed datasets without interaction, or offline RL. A number of relatively unexplored challenges remain in this research field, such as how to get the most out of the collected data and how to compose the most effective datasets. In a new paper, a DeepMind research team proposes a clear conceptual separation of the RL process into data collection and inference of knowledge to improve RL data efficiency. The team introduces the Collect and Infer, or C&I, paradigm and provides insights on how to interpret RL algorithms from the C&I perspective, while also showing how it could guide future research into more data-efficient RL. DeepMind's Collect and Infer, a fresh look at data-efficient reinforcement learning. In other news, or rather in podcasting sphere, recently, John C. Dvorak, a tech columnist who is co-hosting a podcast called No Agenda with our pal Adam Curry, has mentioned artificial intelligence in his other podcast called DH Unplugged with Andrew Horowitz from Florida. So let's audio quote him here, so that we can get some background on what old-timers are thinking about artificial intelligence.
Technology cycle is very short. I mean, the artificial intelligence cycle is the one that I kind of follow closely, where it's I think how many years? It's like a 20-year cycle or something along those lines, and it keeps coming and going. Start with the idea of the electronic brain in the 50s, and then the real AI boom in the late 70s, and the 5th generation project coming out of Japan that was going to change everything the way the world works, and and then now with the more recent AI is going to do this and that, and it's nonsense.
Finally, the Knowledge Corner. What is AI winter? So, nuclear winter is a severe and prolonged, world-spanning climactic cooling effect that is hypothesized to occur after the widespread firestorms following a large-scale nuclear war. And now on to AI winter. In the history of artificial intelligence, an AI winter is a period of reduced funding and interest in artificial intelligence research. The term was coined by analogy to the idea of a nuclear winter. The field of artificial intelligence has experienced several hype cycles, followed by disappointment and criticism, followed by funding cuts, followed by renewed interest years or decades later. There were 2 major winters, in the years 1974 till 1980, and in the years 1987 till 1996, and several smaller episodes, including the following: Year 1966, or Failure of Machine Translation, Year 1970, or Abandonment of Connexionism, Years 1971 to 1975, DARPA's frustration with the Speech Understanding Research Program at Carnegie Mellon University, Year 1973, large decreases in AI research in the United Kingdom in response to the Lighthill Report, Years 1973 to 1974, DARPA's cutbacks to academic AI research in general, Year 1987, collapse of the Lisp machine market, Year 1988, cancellation of new spending on AI by the Strategic Computing Initiative, Year 1993, resistance to new expert systems deployment and maintenance, the 1990s, end of the 5th generation computer project's original goals, whereby the 5th generation computer systems, or FGCS, was an initiative by Japan's Ministry of International Trade and Industry, or MITI, begun in 1982 to create computers using massively parallel computing and logic programming. Opinions about outcome of the 5th generation computer systems are divided. Either it was a failure, or it was ahead of its time. Some people claim it was a failure. Obviously, now we are not living in AI winter because AI is everywhere. Starting from smart speakers that can understand what people are saying, and ending with deep learning algorithms that can defeat all humans in all games, including Game of Go and chess, and can predict how proteins are folding. AI is nowadays everywhere, and it's real. AI is nowadays everywhere, and it's real. And some FAQ. What is meant by AI winter? AI winter is a quiet period for artificial intelligence research and development. Over the years, funding for AI initiatives has gone through a number of active and inactive cycles. The label winter is used to describe dormant periods when customer interest in artificial intelligence declines. Will there be another AI winter? No. In a foreseeable future, there will be no AI winter. Neural networks are such a great and versatile tool. They can solve almost any learning problem worth solving. We just need the right data and the right person. Never in history was AI as impactful, both for businesses and humanity, as it is today. What causes an AI winter? An AI winter is thought to occur when the limits of the current technology result in less dramatic progress, leaving academic institutions to work on incremental improvements until another discovery in AI is made. Do you think we will see another AI winter? No! Example, even though we are currently in a pandemic, a Gartner survey shows us that 66% of organizations increased or didn't change their AI investments since the onset of COVID-19. This is an indicator that companies are seeing AI as an important investment and not just a fad. The need for reduced human contact and social distancing will further propel the adoption of AI. For example, AI-powered robots are helping with medical pre-checks to limit contact with patients with COVID-19. So, AI winter is not coming. Are we in an AI summer? Over the last 10 years, we've clearly been in an AI summer, as vast improvements in computing power and new techniques like deep learning have led to remarkable advances. And that's it. Stay safe, meatbag. The singularity is near!